Okay, this is Standard 2, Objective 1. There's some things in here we have to do, like understanding and integrating common application functions. So what that means is we're going to be opening, closing some programs, and doing some other things. So I'll be using, I'll be using Google Drive. If you have a Gmail account, a lot of times your school's email might be run through Gmail. It's as simple as logging into your account and coming up to the waffle in the top right corner here. When you click on this is part of the interface. You have some options here. You have your Gmail, your Drive. You can move these items around. I'll move my calendar here, and I'll probably just move YouTube off to the bottom, so that's not a distraction at all. Now when I want to get into some of the application software that Google offers, I'm going to click on Google Drive, and this brings up a listing of some of the items that I have here in my Google Drive folder. I can create new items just by clicking on the new icon, and I can create a new folder. And as you see here, I have several folders where I've stored some of my stuff. I can upload new files from my computer. I can also create a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, and a Google Slide, and we're going to go into that more later in the other objectives, but for now we just click on Google Docs. This opens up and we have a Google document. It looks a lot like the word processing that you're used to seeing through Word, but it's also just as easy to exit this program. We pretty much just close this tab of the window that it's in, and it is closed. Opening up a Word document is just about as easy. We click on our Start button, we find the icon for Word. When we open it up, it brings us up some options here. We can choose some of these templates here. Typically, I just start with a blank template. Here we have our document. When it's time to close this document, we go to File. We can click on Save, find our location to save, or you can click the Save icon at the top window here. When you're finished, you just X the program out. Okay, we're back on our Google Doc. One of the things I like about Google Documents is that when you make a change, just call this document. Once you make a change, if you look right here, you can see that it's saving, and all changes have been automatically saved in the drive. Typically, Google Docs are never more than just a few seconds behind you. They're always saving your work to the internet, so you don't have to worry about losing that should the power go off. As we come across the top, we see our menu items. We have File, where we can do things like create a new document, open. If we need to get rid of something, we can take it to the trash or some other things like that. Edit. One of my favorites is Control-Z. It's your best friend if you make a mistake. You just simply Control-Z in most programs, and it will undo the last thing that you've done. So if you accidentally deleted something you didn't mean to, remember the Control-Z. View, we can change the way that our program looks here. We can turn on and off the ruler. We can make it go to full screen. Insert, if we're ready to put in pictures or something of that nature, you need to put a header or a footer for formatting. You can put those things in here, your page numbers, and there's the different formats for them. Formatting, we can change the way our fonts look. Obviously, you see your change of line spacing. If you need to change the size of your font, you can also do that here on your toolbar, where we can change the style of our text. We can change the actual font, the size, the different aspects of it. Some of our other tools, we can look at a spell check if we need to. If you wanted to count how many words were in this document, that might be handy when you're working on a project for your English class or something. So that's basically some of the basic tools here in Google Docs. In Microsoft Word, we have many of the same sorts of elements available, although since Microsoft Word is a paid product, it is a lot more powerful as far as some of the things that allow you to do. We have across our home tab here with our menus. You can do all the formatting you need, changing your font, the sizes. They have some built-in styles for you here. Inserting other things, there's a lot more options for you here. Like I say, it is a program that you have to pay for, so it does have a lot more features with it. One of the things you have to know how to do is to find help. Your very best friend for finding help is the F1 key. Press the F1 key and it starts to open up Word 2016 Help. You find the search subject that you want in here. Start typing and it will send you to a source of help. If you're looking for help inside a Google Doc, The F1 key does not work. However, there is a help button up here where you can start to search through the different menus. I could also recommend that you might have to go out to YouTube or do just a general search in Google. Now we're going to look at some common editing and formatting functions. I have here some of the text of the Declaration of Independence. I'm just going to be selecting it here. The easiest way to copy this text is to use a Control-C. When I do this, it now places it on my clipboard here. I can go into my Google document and I'm a Control-V. Control-V will paste this into my document for me. I can do some formatting of this text. I just find what I'm looking for. I can highlight it. I have a couple of options here. If I want to make this bold, I can either come up here to my menu bar and click on bold, or if I find another piece, grab this here, any form of government, I can use Control-B for bold and it's going to automatically bold that for me. Also, I can take life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, highlight this. If I use a Control-I, Control-I is italics, so it's going to put that into an italicized form here for me. Or again, I can come up here to my toolbar and, oh, there's an underline. So if I want to underline all of these, I highlight this, I do a Control-U, and it will underline this for me. Or I could do all three, make it really stand out. We can also rather quickly find various instances of a text here by going to our Edit button, and we can find and replace. Now I was just looking at this here, and I wanted to find all the instances of he, and I matched my case, because if I don't, it's going to pull out parts of the word the. I'm going to replace any references to the king, which are he. I'm going to match the case, so you can see I'm only collecting these instances right here. I'm going to replace it with that big jerk. Tell us what we really thought of the king. When I hit replace all, I can close this and you can see that every instance of he has been replaced with that big jerk. This also works in Microsoft Excel. Another way you can find some things, this is pretty common, is Control-F. Control-F is find. In this case, I was looking for the word Comcast. When I hit find next, it's going to come down and find my next instance of Comcast, and you can see that I've got several of them here. Let's say that Comcast gets bought out by another company and we need to go into our data here. It was rather quick for finding us here. We got down 1,800 rows of text pretty quickly. But let's go to replace. They've been bought out by a company called Com1 in our instance. I can go to replace all, and anywhere within this document, my seagulls squeaking. All done. We made 22 replacements. You can see that these instances of Com1 right here, they used to be Comcast. Let's say the deal didn't go through. Remember, we have Control-Z that will undo what we've just done. The next thing we're going to look at is changing views. Typically, when you're looking at your document, you'll get a what you see is what you get view, which means that as it's laid out on screen, this is how you're going to be seeing things. There are other times you'll want to look at things differently. So you can go into your view, and we can do some things. We take it out of print layout mode. You can see we've just got a break in the page right here. But I prefer to see how it's going to look, make sure my page looks good when I turn it to my English teacher. I can do some other things. I can go into the view and I can compact my controls, get rid of some things up here. I'm not really a fan of that, so I'm going to use the show menus, bring this back down here. In Microsoft Excel, we have all this data we were looking at. Down here in the bottom right hand corner, this is our normal view. This is the view that we're seeing. When I click on page layout, it's going to take me into a mode that shows me how each page is going to be laid out for me when I print. It's kind of handy sometimes to have. Let's go into PowerPoint. PowerPoint's similar. We have view buttons. Up top here you can click different views of them. Also down here you can see the slide sorter, so if I needed to move a slide around, that doesn't make any sense though because it takes them out of order. Alright, the last thing we have to learn for this objective is working with multimedia files. I'm going to come up to Insert tab. I'm in Microsoft Word. Here I can insert several things. I've got pictures. I can come over here, I can insert some online video. I'm going to be working with a picture here. I'm going to go out to my desktop, and I have a picture of my favorite hero here, Uncle Buck. Now, Microsoft Word is primarily a word processing program, so its default is to treat a picture just like a character. So when I click on this Layout Options button here, you can see that it's trying to lay it out in line with the text. It thinks it's a character. I can select some other options here. If I make the wrapping of the text tight around it, I can actually now start to move my picture around on the page. When I'm working in PowerPoint, PowerPoint is primarily a program that allows me to put in pictures and graphs and other such things, so I don't have to do anything special to move the graphics around here. If we want to work with this graphic here in an Office product, we click on the graphic, and when we do, it brings up a contextual menu. In this case, it's a picture tool, so we can format the picture. We can do a few things in here. We can crop the picture, take out this side of it if we don't think we need this part of the picture. We click off of it, and there the picture is a little bit smaller. Let's click on the picture again, open up our contextual tools. We can put it in a frame. See some different options we have here. We can recolor the picture, have a couple of different effects here. I don't think I necessarily like any of those. We can also remove the background. We can start to take out parts of the picture that don't tell the story that we need. When I do this, I can mark some areas to keep. The picture is dark, so it's going to be a little hard. The hatchet is important to our story. So I can start to draw Uncle Buck back in. Let's get his shoulder here. I'm drawing over this. You can see I'm getting him to come back in. That's not perfect, but we're a lot closer than we were. I click on Keep Changes, and now all I have left is just the picture here of Uncle Buck. I'm back in PowerPoint, and you can see when I click on my picture of Uncle Buck, I have the same picture tools come up here format. I have the same options that I had when I was in Microsoft Word. Finally, back in Google Documents, when I want to insert a picture, I go up to the Insert. I can come up and grab the image. I need to go out and I need to find the picture, so I choose my image to upload. I find Uncle Buck. Open this up. It's going to upload the picture for me. That's going to place it in here. Now when I click on the picture, the menu is a little bit different here. You can see that it's trying to wrap it in line. That's because it's a word processor trying to treat this graphic just like it's just another character. I can wrap the text, which means I can make the text move around the box. Okay, I can tell it what sorts of margins to put on it. I can also do some cropping of the picture like I did. When I grab this crop, I can grab the edges here, and I can take out part of the picture. When I'm done, I click off of it, and you can see what I've got. So I'll just move this over here so it looks a bit cleaner.